what's up guys? I'm here with a new video for you today. I still haven't uploaded my reaction video to Moana coming out and whatnot, and the reaction to the last episode of the last final season of Superman and Lois, but I'll be uploading it after I upload this video. I'm probably gonna upload that in like a couple days or something, but I'm gonna do it right before New Year's because I need it to come out this month, or at least this week. So today's video, I'm gonna be reacting to Santa Claus 3, the one with Tim Allen in it. I already watched Santa Claus 1 and 2 yesterday on Christmas Eve because I was getting ready to go to this Christmas Eve thing with my uncle and aunt because my mom couldn't come because she was coming down with the flu. But before I start filming it, I just want to give a little tidbit or a heads up that at the end I'm going to show you what I got for Christmas from the few people that got me Christmas gifts. So I'm going to start the reaction video. So I'll see you in the next clip, or you'll see the next clip of either me or of the movie. So yeah, you get the gist. So let's start this.
Ladies, keep up. We need hot water, a lot of ointment. You, think sugar flux. Do not panic. Do not panic. Curtis, the baby's coming.
Coco, the baby's coming. Listen close, the baby's coming. I know.
There's a delicious vat of steaming hot cocoa in the lounge with your little names on it. Oh, it's a tantalizing blend of full, rich cocoa with just a suggestion of vanilla.
Light of the moon for Coco. And you know how they are. Yak, 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 eh? Scott? Tree topper, what do you say?
Hey, Scott, honey.
Hey.
Let's put the tree topper on. We can make it.
Okay, I'm back and finally gonna do the review. So this is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. Obviously also the first and second movie. I've watched this a couple times, even if it's not Christmas, because hey, that's just me. But so overall, I love this movie. I will always love it. Nothing can make me not like it. And I really love watching anything that Tim Allen's in. Well, I can't say anything because it just depends on what kind of movie he is starring in. If it's like scary or anything, I would have to think about it if I'm gonna watch it. But I love the TV series and the other movies I have seen him in, and he has done an incredible job in each of it that I've seen him in. But yeah, so I love how he did all 3 movies for Santa Claus. I don't know if they're gonna make a Santa Claus 4, but I hope they do. If not, then that's fine. The first 3 movies are fine. So Charlie's in it, Lucy's in it, as well as Neil and Laura. Well, not the original actress from like the first movie, because in the second movie they changed actress, and I think they changed the actress who plays Laura again in this movie. But if it is the same actress from the second movie, but she has a totally different look, I wouldn't have noticed. But she kind of looked like she's a different actress. And then Carol's in it, obviously. And in this movie, we also get Jack Frost. We get the legendary figures back. Carol's parents are in the movie too. And Chet has grown up from since he was like probably a teenager reindeer. I don't know. But the one thing that did change in the movie is that Bernard, the one who's always helping Santa from the first and second movie, he was not in there, which sucks. But we got Curtis, and we all love Curtis. Well, if you all don't really like Curtis, that's also fine. So I love how Carol starts in the movie, in the beginning of the movie, telling her students what really happened, what big change happened from the beginning to the end. So in the beginning, we see Scott and the other elves, even Curtis, running with him to while he's pushing Carol, I think on the gurney or something, to the emergency room, but it's called the infirmary, I think. And of course, thank God that Scott could fit in it. Like, he could stand in it without having to, like, bend over or whatever. But just to find out that it was another false alarm. And so they went on and whatnot. But I felt bad for Carol because she ended up starting to let Scott know, because I don't think she ever told him, because I don't think she wanted him to feel bad or whatever for her, that while he was busy doing everything to make sure Christmas was perfect for all the kids and probably even the adults around the world to have a perfect Christmas, she was feeling sad and lonely, because as much as she wants her husband there, she knows that she can't take him away from his job. And of course, Scott wants to be there too for her, so that he can be there for the birth of their kid. So, finally, Scott figured out a way how to bring her parents to the North Pole without them knowing, because apparently Carol said that her parents probably could not keep a secret if they found out the secret location of the North Pole. And of course, they didn't want everyone to know and all that stuff. So that's what they did. But also while doing that, he ended up having like a meeting with the legendary figures about Jack Frost, and of course, and they were all planning to suspend him until Frost tried to convince Scott, to let him like shadow him and stuff, and and stuff, to convince him to know that he can be a good legendary figure and whatnot, and not to suspend him. But of course, that didn't work for the both of them, even though Scott didn't know what Jack was up to. So after all of that, finally, Scott went to go see his family. Of course, they all knew that Scott's there because he landed, I think on their backyard or something, and they heard it. So they ran out and stuff, and then they ended up going back in after hugging and whatnot. And Charlie thanks Scott for letting him and I think his friend or his girlfriend go snowboarding or something for something. And then finally Scott mentions that he's gonna bring Carol's parents there and stuff because she's sad and whatnot. And then it ended up leading to where Lucy asked Scott if she can go to the North Pole because she's never been there and she really wants to see it, and that Charlie has been there, so she wants to go there. And he tries to like gently like tell Lucy that she couldn't, but then Laura ended up saying that Kara might need her, so she might need to go. And of course, Scott was trying to try to shut them down gently without hurting their feelings or whatever. And till Neil ended up using one of his like therapist method or whatever, that Charlie got to see the North Pole like twice or even a lot, and Lucy is a part of this family, so Lucy deserves to see the North Pole and whatnot, because it would traumatize her. She never, got the chance to see it because, she's not part of it, whatever. But she is a part of the family, and since she wants to go, it is, also allowed to have the parents come with her on a long distance journey to supervise and whatnot. So of course, I think Neil was trying to like emotionally blackmail Scott or something, or it kind of seemed that way to me. But if it didn't look that way to you, then I think we both have different opinions on it, which is fine. Everyone's opinions are valid and stuff. So finally, Scott went to go visit his in-laws with the Sandman because he needed the Sandman to, I don't know, throw sleepy sand on the parents. So, of course, their plan didn't start out good when he was giving the Sandman hints on when he was supposed to do it, but since he didn't, it took his in-laws fighting about Yosemite or something. I hope I said it right. If I didn't, I am so sorry. It took them fighting about that for the Sandman to finally throw the sand on them. So they fell asleep. And of course, Scott was like, we didn't do the plan right. We were supposed to do that right when we get in the car. And then out of nowhere, the Sandman ended up like looking at the chair next to the couch, fluffing it, and then fall asleep. And of course, Scott was trying to wake up the Sandman and whatnot, but he couldn't wake up. So, of course, it left Scott to get everyone back on the sleigh, as well as the three. Except for the Sandman, I think he has his own way to go back to his realm or to where his estate or something is at and whatnot. So they got there, and of course, Scott made sure that the North Pole, or at least where they are at, is Canadian based because, of course, Carol told her parents that he is a toy maker in Canada. So Scott had to make his something look like a toy factory that's actually in Canada. So it was all good and whatnot until Frost kept until Jack Frost made everything worse for Scott. And of course, Scott didn't know it was because of him. So of course, he didn't know that it was Jack that was doing it, or else he would have like scolded Frost or whatever. So Jack would have like messed up like the naughty and nice list area, and then ruined, I don't know what those two else were doing in that department, but he was also ruining their department. And then he ruined the kitchen and stuff and whatnot, and he keep making people think that he did it by accident or whatever of other things, so that they didn't know what he was actually doing and to believe them. But also, one thing I felt bad about was that Curtis didn't know that he was being manipulated by Frost to find out about the secret snow globes and whatnot, and the secret of it. So finally he found out and whatnot. So he was trying to make everything worse and stuff, when he knew that Scott wanted to make it perfect for Carol and for her parents and whatnot, but he made it impossible for him to do that, all while trying to make sure that Scott tells his in-laws of what really happening without telling them that he's the Santa Claus. And so finally, it led to Lucy finding out that Jack found the secret of the globe room and had her Uncle Scott's snow globe. And of course, she ended up calling her parents, which she didn't know that Jack didn't leave the room, that he stayed in there until all three of them came into the room for him to close the door. And, of course, Jack scared Lucy, and I think he basically threatened her that if she told anyone, or even Scott, about what he was doing, that I don't even know what he really threatened her with, but he did freeze her parents. So of course she stayed in the closet and whatnot, locked in there with her parents, frozen. So he ended up going to. So after the commotion of what he did with Scott and his in-laws and Carol, they end up going somewhere in his home and whatnot, and They started talking and whatnot, and then out of nowhere, Jack takes out this present from, I think, his pocket or something, but it had Scott's snow globe in there, and he ended up making Scott hold it and end up letting Scott say those words, and Scott figured out what he was doing and tried to stop it, but Jack was holding him until so that it could fully go. So finally, it made them go back in time from when Scott met the Santa before him. But of course, Scott didn't make it in time, and Jack got the coat, and then it made them go to Christmas Eve, and Scott got to see what would really happen if he wasn't Santa, if he wasn't actually Santa at the beginning. So of course, in that different time, Charlie I think dislikes Scott and whatnot, and then I think Laura and Neil are getting divorced, and that Neil and Lucy was at the toy factory, which of course is where he lives, and so he went there just to find out everything that he was trying not to make everyone know of. Jack Frost actually made them know of. So, he did talk to Lucy and Neil, but it didn't really work until like later down the moments while Jack was singing and stuff. He got to talk to Lucy, and I think was able to eventually convince her to help him. So while Lucy went to go to the secret snow globe room to get Jack's snow globe, Scott ends up like stalling and whatnot. And of course, Jack did not know that Scott had the upper sleeve and stuff. So of course, Jack didn't know that Scott had like this like pen recorder and recorded him saying the words that he ended up making Scott say. So when Lucy threw the snow globe, Jack caught it. Jack turned to Scott, and Jack was saying all those words, and then told Scott that he's not gonna let him say those words. And out of nowhere, Scott played the pen recorder, and it said what Jack said. And of course, he's like, oops. They ran back in the same time when Scott was about to make the Santa before him disappear, and then he becomes Santa, all of that. But then the Scott now was able to hold Jack long enough until his past self did everything that made him become Santa. They finally went back to their present time before all of that happened, and they went inside. Or he saw Carol and her parents walking and stuff. Finally, they end up bringing the parents into the factory, telling her parents the whole truth and stuff, and they were so shocked. The father was like doing all of that and saying that he's the father-in-law Christmas, and then the mom said the same thing, but mother-in-law stuff. They end up seeing the Easter Bunny, the Mother Nature. Well, wait, no, actually they see the Easter Bunny and Cupid, but Easter Bunny was the only one that knew the two's names. And then they saw the Tooth Fairy and Sandman helping Charlie make more toys and stuff, helping the elves do that, and seeing that everything was perfectly, well. And then out of nowhere, Mother Nature came, they talk and stuff. And then finally, Curtis and Lucy runs to Scott, and Lucy told Scott everything, and went on after Curtis told Scott that he found Lucy locked in a closet. And then they end up bringing Lucy's parents on the thing you put boxes on, and they end up seeing the officers, I think that's what they call the elves who are police officers there, bringing Jack in. And of course, Scott was telling Jack that he has to unfreeze the two, and he's like, if I unfreeze them, I'll be unfreezed too, and he wasn't gonna let that happen. And then he ended up going to Mother Nature and asked if she had a way to unfreeze them, and she's like, no, legendary powers can't work on other legendary powers. So Scott ended up realizing the entire time in the movie, he told Lucy that her hugs are the warmest. So instead of Lucy hugging her parents to unthaw them, she ends up hugging Jack. Of course, the entire time, Jack was trying not to cave in, but it didn't work because Lucy's warm hugs was warming him up, and it actually really worked. So his code for Saw started like breaking and stuff, and then out of nowhere, the good him ended up saying, I didn't think it was possible to warm my heart and all of that stuff. And he ended up starting to look like human in a way, but he still had like, that Jack Frost look. And while he was doing that, the parents end up unfreezing, and then they end up hugging and stuff. And then finally, after all of that, Carol finally told Scott that it was time, that the package was coming, and of course Scott didn't get the hint until later on. And then they end up like bringing Carol back to the infirmary, and then finally, instead of them showing the baby right then and there, it was like a couple months later where finally we get back to Carol still telling the story to the kids, and they end up seeing Scott coming in with their baby on the baby Bjorn thing in front of him. I think they had a son or a daughter. I didn't really like check and stuff for that, but then after that, it was a good movie. I really love these movies, and I love watching them again and again, but like a couple months apart or even a couple weeks apart, so that I don't keep watching it like over and over again every day to the point where I might get sick of it. So I try to make sure it's like a couple weeks apart or a couple months apart. So overall, this movie's really good, like I said in the beginning when I started this clip. And yeah, so now I'm gonna show you what I got for Christmas from the people who got me Christmas gifts this year. Not every year in Christmas I'm gonna get Christmas gifts from everyone, which is fine. I love it when they tell me Merry Christmas instead and stuff. That's the best Christmas present I can ever get if they didn't have the time or whatever to get me Christmas presents. I don't really need Christmas presents and stuff, but if you can end up getting it for me and whatnot, I will appreciate it nonetheless. If you only have to say the greetings to me as a Christmas present, that's also great. So I am gonna show you the first ones to the last of the Christmas presents that I got in before Christmas happened. So if you hear noises, I have stuff in here. Okay, the first Christmas present, can't seem to find it without making a whole mess on my bed, and I'm trying not to do that. So the first Christmas present was actually a Alabama maroon beanie that my mom got me at the gas station, because I was just, telling her I liked it and stuff, but she ended up getting it for me because she knew I liked it. So she got me that for my Christmas present. And hold on, what's the next one? Okay, so these two are from my best friend / bonus sister, Vina. She got me a Christmas present, but she didn't have time to wrap it and whatnot, which is fine. I love it when it's also unwrapped. It makes me more excited without having to open it with wrappers, but it also still makes me excited as well if it was wrapped. Either way, I'm fine with it. So I'm going to show you what she got me. So this is the Perfect Man hot chocolate bomb. It's a mug with the hot chocolate. Of course, you have to like make hot chocolate and stuff and it melts. So I'm excited to try that. If not, I'll probably give it to my mom to try it if I don't feel like I'm gonna try it anytime soon and it's gonna be sitting here, which I am not gonna let that happen. in that case. The second one, she asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I told her either she could get me something from Hot Topic or Bath and Body Works, because honestly, there is a lot that I want for Christmas, but it's not on the top of my head for some reason. I don't know if you guys have that problem too, where you know what you want for Christmas. Like if you have like a lot of things that you want for Christmas on the top of your head, but it's not there, and it's only like the first like whatever thing that pop in your head, that's the only thing you go with. Cause that's me. I don't jot it down on this, but yeah. So this one's from Bath and Body Works. I hope it is, cause yeah. So she asked me what's my favorite scent. I told her lavender or somewhat similar to it or whatever. Any scent is fine other than vanilla. I mean, I like vanilla, don't get me wrong. It just depends on what it is, and if I was there to smell it, because you know, it can smell good to the person, but it won't smell good to me. I don't even like vanilla scented candles, but I try not to tell the person that if they end up having that like at their house or in their car or whatever, because that's their scent that they pick, and I don't want to make them feel bad or whatever if I do that, because that's not me. I do not do that. I just like deal with it and stuff, because you know, that's the scent they chose. So she got me this sugar cookie 12-piece spa set. This is how it looks. It's so cute, and it's in my favorite color, well, at least the boxes. And so it has shower gel, body scrub, body lotion, hand cream, bubble bath, foot cream, foot scrub, body spray, bath salts, bath fizzers. So let me tell you this. I only know how to use half of these things that I read, but the rest I haven't. I would have to watch YouTube on how to actually use them, because I never used them before, because growing up, the only thing I knew how to, or at least knew about, was just makeup and lotion and stuff. But like other stuff I haven't, because I'm not like around a lot of females who uses it to explain it to me. So I'm just gonna have to watch it on YouTube. Okay, the next one is this Pokemon Pikachu plush throw. So a couple days ago, my mom was gonna go shopping, Christmas shopping for my nephews and nieces, and of course she ended up knowing what the two of them like. So when we were doing that and stuff, we ended up seeing this, and I have been a big fan of Pokemon since I was like, I think, a toddler. And the reason why I was a big fan of Pokemon is because my brothers, they were a big fan of Pokemon, or at least I hope they are a big fan of Pokemon. And growing up, they've been playing Pokemon and stuff, and since I was a baby and whatnot, obsessed with being around my siblings, apparently at that point, because now I'm not that obsessed. But I love hanging out with them no matter what. But when I was a little kid, I was around my brothers who was playing Pokemon, and then I ended up getting into Pokemon. So of course, my favorite Pokemon is obviously Pikachu. Don't get me wrong, I love all the Pokemons, but my favorite is Pikachu, obviously. So my mom ended up getting me this for Christmas, because I could not like put it down for the life of me, because I'm like, do you really want to like, you know? But of course, I know my limits are not to push it. And then the other one, it's this Simba plush toy. I think it's a plush toy. I hope I'm right, because I'd be so, yeah, it's a plush toy, because I would have been so sad if I got it wrong. So I'm also obsessed with the movie Lion King. I've been obsessed since I was a little child. When my dad was alive, his favorite movie was The Lion King, obviously, and we will always watch it together. At least that's the only memory I remember of having with him. And I guess I hold that memory like dear to my heart. So Simba was my favorite, and always my favorite, lion cub on the movie. And I ended up watching Lion King 2, where Simba's older. Well, he did get older in the first movie, but still, when he got older, and then he ended up getting with Nala, and then they ended up having their daughter Kiara, but Simba will always be my favorite lion. And it's sad that I didn't get to watch the Mufasa movie that came out this year, which is like days ago. I don't want to say the number of days ago if I'm gonna upload this either on the 26th, which is the next day, in a couple of days. So yeah, but it's okay. I can watch it on Disney Plus anyways because I have the app and whatnot. And then I got a Christmas card from my uncle, but I'm not gonna tell you what it got me. Yeah, so I guess that's it for the Christmas gifts that I got. I love my Christmas gifts, obviously. They're all my favorite and stuff. And you know, I cherish things, whether I'm not that into it or if I am into it. But overall, I still, you know, cherish things that people give me and stuff. But I guess that's it for the video. Don't worry, either 2 days or a day after I upload this or a couple days after I upload this, I will upload the Moana 2 reaction video and the Superman and Lois reaction video too as well. It's just gonna take me time to try to edit it. Yeah, I think that's it. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell the notification bell to always be notified if you want to continue to follow me on my YouTube journey. And if you want to follow me on my social media journey, I will put them down in the description for you to follow me. And if I haven't followed you back, please bear with me. I am still trying to find time to do that. Also, I'm also making sure I'm being cautious of who I follow because there are a lot of creeps out there, and I don't want to end up being stuck in a situation like that and don't know how to get out of it. So I'm just, you know, protecting myself. So if I don't follow you back, please bear with me because I will. I just, you know, gotta make sure that I'm not following someone who would hack my Instagram account like the last one did, or someone who would creep me out if once I follow them and they end up DMing me things that I find creepy. Why would you end up DMing that? So things like that. So, but I will follow you once I make sure all of that and stuff. So I'll see you in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, all of that. And I don't know if I'm going to do a New Year's video, but if I am, I'll let you know. But if I'm not, then I will tell you in the next video if I end up doing it to give you the greetings for the New Year's. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.